The Dharma Discourses of Cardinal Master Chongsan. Part 2, Dharma Discourses. Chapter 4, Vision and Plans. 1. A guest asked, since the name of your order is One Buddhism, I would like to know the meaning of one. Cardinal Master Chongsan replied, 1. Circle, in metaphysical terms, is that realm where language, names, and signs are extinguished, hence, it is impossible to describe. However, in physical terms, the myriad things in the universe are all expressed through this one, hence, it is simultaneously the root source of the dharmas and the true reality of those myriad dharmas. Therefore, although all the various religious teachings in heaven and earth may differ in their expression in millions of ways, in reality there is not a single dharma other than one. The visitor asked, if the meaning of one is in this way so perfectly interfused, may I be so bold as to suggest that naming this order One-do, the way of one, or One-gyo, the one teachings, might more adequately subsume all religious teachings. Although Buddhism may be an ancient and great religion, in the eyes of the world its religious principles are often presumed to be partial. What about reconsidering this matter? The master replied, Pul, Buddha, means awakened, and also mind. Even though the truth of one is complete and thus subsumes the myriad dharmas, it would be a vacuous principle without the awakened mind. Thus, the two terms one and Pul are originally a non-dualistic truth and are inseparable. In the case of traditional Buddhism, too, its fundamental teachings are free of partiality, but on account of particular institutions, people naturally misunderstood it as a partial doctrine. But if its institutions are renewed, the real essence of the Buddha Dharma, in accordance with truth, will be made fully manifest in the world. 2. A guest asked, what do you think of your order's development plan? The master said, as an ancient sage said, things have roots and branches, human affairs have firsts and lasts. If we prepare by understanding what comes first and what later, then I believe our order will develop as a matter of course. The visitor asked, what do you think should be done first and what later? The master replied, first, we must compile carefully our religious texts, second, we must foster our human talent, third, we must gain the economic power necessary to operate all our enterprises. However, given our nation's current situation, things are not going as well as we could wish, so we are struggling. The guest asked, some churches are so focused on propagation that they even proselytize in the street. Shouldn't your order be doing the same? The master replied, we do engage in propagation using appropriate methods, but we haven't gone so far as to proselytize in the street. The guest asked, if you have already decided to engage in propagation, then wouldn't it be better to do it zealously? The master replied, it is like a merchant who stocks his shop with excellent products, gives his customers a good price, and thus benefits the masses, his shop will naturally prosper. In the same way, even in religious edification, if we prepare completely all our religious texts and do not harm anyone but only benefit them, then the order will naturally develop. Up till now, formal proselytization has been the focus of religious development, but in the coming world, I believe that substantive activities will become the critical factor. 3. In the 31st year of the One Buddhist era, 1946, at the inaugural assembly of the Kumgongdan, Adamantine Association, the master delivered the following admonition, there is a profound reason for naming this organization the Kumgongdan. By never forgetting the two Chinese characters Kam and Gang, I hope that all you members will manifest well the real qualities of adamant. You should discover inwardly the adamantine self-nature with which each of you is inherently endowed. Once you have discovered your self-nature, you should continually eliminate distracted thoughts and finally make manifest the clear and pure mind ground, just as a goldsmith would eliminate all sorts of impure metals and minerals in order to extract the pure gold. And just as the goldsmith makes good use of pure gold, you should become a sage who wholesomely uses the mind and readily applies myriad actions in accordance with your capacities. In addition, outwardly, you should help unify this organization through consistent faithfulness, so it will be as strong as adamant. If you notice any of the members violating the precepts, then, through the power of the organization, admonish and caution each other in advance, so that all members possess qualities that are as pure as gold. As the organization becomes stronger, you should, by promoting further the power of public service, propagate widely our founding masters' right Dharma and carry on our forerunners' work far into the future, so that this organization's adamant-like illumination will shine over the world. For in the 31st year of the One Buddhist era, 5th month, May/June, 1946, at the opening ceremony of the Yule Academy, the Master delivered the following admonition: when the founding Master was alive, he personally intended to found this academy and even decided on the name Yule, one and only. However, due to the nation's conditions at the time, his intent could not be realized, but after liberation we are now able to open the academy. Thus, you should first understand the true meaning of Yule and achieve its one and only purpose, its one and only activity, and its one and only result. Its one and only purpose is to deliver all sentient beings and cure the world. Its one and only activity is selfless service to the public. Its one and only result is establishing the world of Il-One. Even though there are now only a few students in a small classroom, in the future numberless persons of the way will be pouring out to deliver the world in abundant ways. 5. In the 33rd year of the One Buddhist era, 4th month, April/May 1948, the Master established and promulgated the One Buddhism Charter. Article 1, in the General Principles section, stated, One Buddhism is based on the Great Way of Il-One, which is the principle of the universe and the mind seal of all the Buddhas. It takes right faith, right enlightenment, and right practice as its cardinal teachings. Article 2 said, the teachings of this order have as their goal delivering all sentient beings and curing the world by having the grace of the Buddhas transform the entire world and having the Sun Dharma transform the entire congregation through the essential ways of human life, viz., the fourfold grace and the four essentials, and the essential ways of practice, viz., the threefold study and the 8 articles. Article 3 stipulated, this order takes the Il-One song, the Dharmakaya Buddha, as the fundamental object of veneration and worships Il-One as the truth, for it is the original source of the fourfold grace and the symbol of the 3 aspects of Buddhahood, viz., law body, Dharmakaya, reward body, Sabhagakaya, and transformation bodies, Nirmanakaya, and the mind seal that was rightly transmitted by Sakyamuni Buddha and the founding master Sati-san. 6. In the 34th year of the One Buddhist era, 4th month, April/May 1949, at the first graduation ceremony of the Yule Academy, the Master delivered this admonition. I regret that during the past 3 years you had to endure much hardship without receiving a satisfactory education. Even so, try to reflect over the course of our order's enterprises, from the early levee project to selling charcoal and confectionery, farming and stock raising, as well as running orchards and pharmacies. On a personal level, some worked at the spinning mill or the rubber factory. Hence, none of your forerunners could comfortably attend a 3-month sun retreat, let alone a 3-year academy. In all enterprises, this is the typical sequence in their initial stage and is precisely the reason why those who come later have special reverence for their forerunners. The life of a religion is faith, the motive force of an enterprise is public spiritedness. If you are equipped with just these 2 qualities, then even though you may be lacking in education, your future will be bright. Do not worry about lacking anything other than these 2, do not trouble yourself to acquire anything other than these 2. You have now completed the curriculum at the academy, but your great learning is only beginning. Great learning is practice in the midst of work, where you practice while you work and work while you practice. Never forget even for a moment that each of your words and acts can have great consequences for the future activities of the academy and the order. Grounding yourselves on belief and dedication and on public spiritedness, I hope you will exert yourselves at this practice while working, and consummately accomplish the Buddha's practice and the Buddha's enterprise. 7. In the 34th year of the One Buddhist era, 5th month, May/June 1949, while launching the magazine One Guang, Radiance of One, the Master bequeathed the inscription, "The radiance of Il One illuminates all the 10 directions." He then explained its essential point: everything that is true ultimately survives, no matter how hard one tries to destroy it. But if something is false, no matter how hard one tries to make it last, it ultimately disappears. 8. A practitioner asked, "One Kwang is the name of both our official magazine and the schools we have established. What does the term mean?" The Master answered, "Generally, it means to illuminate the great way of Il One. However, the two characters One and Kwang involve even more profound principles. One, as the essence of Il One, means the original realm of all things and the myriad dharmas. Kwang means the manifestation from that realm of all living things and myriad dharmas. With One as the essence and Kwang as the function, all dharmas are subsumed therein. Hence, don't forget this meaning but contemplate it well, so that your thought, speech, and conduct will all be in accord with One Kwang. This is crucial for the development of our order." 9. In the 38th year of the One Buddhist era, 4th month, April/May 1953, after finishing the order's comprehensive evaluation of its first generation, the Master said, "We have done our best to be fair in evaluating the ranks of practice and the ratings of our various enterprises, but how can we hope to have acknowledged all the hidden practices and merits? Hence, leaving the true evaluation to the infallible truth, if we use the current rankings as a rough measure to encourage us to further effort in the future, then we will have here truly valuable fellow adherents and highly ranked meritorious people. Subsequently, those deceased spirits whose achievements surpassed their given rank on the tablet at the Hall of Eternal Commemoration would feel no qualms about receiving memorial services, but those spirits whose achievements may have fallen short of their given ranks, how embarrassed they will be to receive such an undeserved commemoration." 10. In the 39th year of the One Buddhist era, 4th month, April/May 1954, the Master sent a message to the meetings of the Supreme Dharma Unit and the Ministers Association that said, "I offer my heartfelt congratulations for the notable progress in every sections of our order, thanks to the efforts of members of the Supreme Dharma Unit, officers at headquarters, and directors of specific organs and temples, who have all shown unflagging sincerity and a sense of public service. Due to my illness, I was unable to fully share in the happiness at the last year's General Convention celebrating the first 36 years of our order, and we are unable this year as well to commune with each other as we wish. The moon of our minds, which illuminates each other without speech, remains as clear as ever, but you and I feel regret equally at being unable to experience the joy of reunion." Then, turning to the immediate agendas of the governance of the central administration and how best to secure its dignity, the Master said, "So far, because our order's primary objective has been internal consolidation rather than external expansion, we have run our affairs almost like a household through verbal consensus. Regarding official positions, too, we paid little attention to formalities, but have just kept matters informal. However, from now on, as all administrations expand and the numbers of active members increase, the face of the order will become more conspicuous both inwardly and outwardly. Hence, let us cooperate in complying with the direction of the central administration and securing its dignity." Then, regarding the tasks to be promoted by the whole order, he said, "So far, because we have been working hard mainly to grow individual organizations and temples, we have mostly postponed the order-wide enterprises that should have been managed at headquarters. However, from now on, each individual organization and temple should unite and work hard at promoting order-wide enterprises, showing more concern for the maintenance of the headquarters as well. Regarding edification and governance through organized units, he said, if at headquarters you further strengthen the authority and functions of the Supreme Dharma Unit and make it the central organ for governing the order, and in each temple, you fortify the units of edification and make them the organ for promoting practice and enterprises, then you shall obtain a great result, half the effort, double the result, as the saying goes. 11 In the 39th year of the One Buddhist era, 1954, at the award ceremony for the extraordinary performers who fulfilled the duty of original guidance, the Master gave a congratulatory address, One of our sacred duties as one Buddhists is to recruit at least 9 adherents to this order, so that all may bask in the founding master's dharma and grace. When the founding master initially opened the gate of this order, he laid the foundation by recruiting 9 adherents, and said, "In the future, if each of you also recruit at least 9 adherents and propagate our dharma through this method, then before too long the way and its power will permeate all under heaven." The founding master called this the duty of original guidance, Yan 1, lit. The fount of affinities, comparing it to the way a fount of water flows out in all directions, equally bestowing its grace on the myriads of living creatures, and he encouraged us in a variety of ways to carry out this duty. Therefore, if every one of us recruits at least 9 adherents and, through these affinities and loyalties, encourages them to the very end to achieve merit and virtue whether in practice or enterprise, then that will amount to a superb enterprise in the establishment of the Great Way. And if holy sages or leaders in enterprise emerge from among those whom you have guided, then the merit and virtue of your original guidance will indeed be incomparable. To hold a ceremony and hand out awards is nothing more than an expedient means of promoting this practice. Truly great merits, you must understand, accumulate quietly. 12 In the 40th year of the One Buddhist era, 3rd month, March/April, 1955, at the first graduation ceremony of One Guang College, the Master delivered an admonitory address. Although this is the first time that One Guang College has held a graduation ceremony and conferred bachelor's degrees, many decades of sweat-soaked history are hidden behind today's event. On this day, you should reflect one more time on that history and, in applying in the world what you have learned at college, you should not utilize it only on limited, small tasks, but widely on limitless great enterprises on behalf of the entire public, so that the merit and virtue of this college and this order will be known throughout the world. From now on, you should make endless efforts to accumulate real power in actual life, taking the entire world as a greater school and regarding all things in the world as great teachers. If, in commemoration of this day, you decide to devote yourself to this practice and steadily continue with it, then you truly will be able to graduate with flying colors from the well-lived life of a hero. 13 In the 41st year of the One Buddhist era, 4th month, April/May 1956, at the groundbreaking ceremony for the second phase of the levee project at Chongsan, the Master gave a congratulatory address. The founding Master's purpose in starting the great construction of this levee project with his 9 fellow unit members as the first enterprise after the order's foundation was to secure the economic foundation of our order, but internally, he had an even deeper intent. Now, as we begin this grand undertaking of the second phase of the levee project, we must understand that the significance and value of this project is no different than those of the first, and we must have the same spirit as that of the original 9 disciples. Throughout this project, let us examine still further the quality of our fellow adherents' faith and examine still further their business prowess. Prompted by this project, let us realize more keenly the source of blessings and rewards as well as the paradigm of the wholeness of both spirit and flesh. 14 In the 41st year of the One Buddhist era, 11th month, November/December 1956, at the opening ceremony of the Central Meditation Center, the Master delivered this admonition: at our meditation centers, we have several extraordinary goals that are not found elsewhere. First, we take ability rather than formality as the standard so that we may develop many competent male and female ordained devotees. Second, we take the study of the way rather than scientific knowledge as the standard so that we may train directly in pragmatic practice and pragmatic faith. Third, rather than training for the personal benefit for oneself and one's family, we stimulate to the utmost the thought of the great public way, which sets as its goal delivering all the worlds in the 10 directions. These 3 goals are in fact the primary conditions for becoming the kind of model person that this new world demands. Excessive formality leads to the world looking for something substantive. Excessive scientism leads to the world seeking study of the way. Excessive egotism leads to the world venerating public service. You should deeply awaken to these principles in order to promote a superlative Sun tradition. I sincerely request that you make this meditation center a great practice site, where numerous distinguished leaders of our order will be produced throughout eternity. 15. At the graduation ceremony at Chongsan Meditation Center, the Master delivered this admonition: Sun is the quintessence of the Buddha-dharma. A meditation center is a training site that specializes in this quintessence. Chongsan is the very first of our specialized meditation centers to have opened. Although it still has not overcome the poverty of its beginning days, nevertheless, through a spirit that takes as its standards the principles of substance, the study of the way, and public service, I request that you promote in both this order and this world the Sun tradition in which you have trained thus far, so that the prestige of this meditation center and our order will shine forever throughout the world. 16. At the opening ceremony of the meditation retreat for ministers, the Master delivered this admonition: those who edify others must first understand and put into practice the three ways of governing people and edifying them. In governing and edifying individuals, the family, society, the nation, and the world, there are these three paths: governing them through the way, governing them through virtue, and governing them through laws and regulations. Regarding these three ways of governance and edification, I intend to explicate them in detail in the canon of secular life. If these three types of edification are integrated and put into practice, then this will become an optimal world, but if there are faults in these three paths, the optimal state will not be achieved. Hence, you should not become deluded regarding these three paths, but, by taking them as your source, whether dealing with individuals, the family, society, nation, or the world, always apply them in concert so that you will become excellent pioneers of the infinite enterprises of this great way. 17. A minister asked, please tell us about the direct application of these three ways when we are engaged in edification in the countryside. The Master said, edification by governing through the way means edification through principles and faith. Ministers themselves must first stand at the forefront, with their faith completely absorbed in the principle of the Dharmakaya Buddha and the teachings of the founding Master, as well as in their own ultimate self-awakening, so that they may guide the general adherents' faith and practice, and ensure that those adherents' faith and zeal for the order's work will all be concentrated on the basics. Edification by governing through virtue means edification through human kindness and moral influence, that is to say, to be attentive to even the most obscure of each person's circumstances by understanding carefully everyone's feelings, and, with a mind that is free from antagonism, embrace and edify all people equally. Edification by governing through laws and regulations means edification through rules and expedients, that is to say, by understanding well the general trends in the world and examining well the general tendencies of your adherents, you carry out edification with millions of effective expedients that do not contradict regulations and are suitable to the particular cases. 18. In 42nd year of the One Buddhist era, 1957, upon launching a scholarship project, the Master said, there is a saying in the great learning, in the kingdom of Chu, they only treasure good people. In our order, we must treasure only those talents who have faith and public spiritedness. Although such things as buildings, land, or money are perforce resources for carrying out the enterprises of our order, those are merely necessary things of use. The real fundamental resources for these enterprises are the agents of those enterprises and their conscientiousness. In the beginning, what material resources did the first 9 disciples have? Their absolute spirits of adhering only to the founding Master and their conscientiousness in extinguishing selfishness and contributing to the public served as our foundation. We must only foster as the true treasures and assets of our unending enterprise those sincere adherents who possess firm faith and conscientious public spiritedness. 19. At the ceremonial celebration on the 42nd anniversary of the foundation of the order, the Master delivered a congratulatory address. In these special grand prayers, which we started during the first month of last year for the prosperous future of the order and for world peace, let us further steel ourselves for the remainder of this period. For such projects as the second phase of the Levy project in Kongguanyang, compiling the Tijia scripture of the founding Master, and the scholarship project, let us all become single-hearted agents for these great tasks and continue to carry them out. He then said, in commemoration of this day, we must make our own the founding master's spirit in establishing this order and thereby make manifest on this earth the great ideal of delivering the minds of sentient beings, which the founding master summed up in the slogan, with this great opening of matter, let there be a great opening of spirit. All of us must first work hard at our own great opening of spirit so that we may endlessly practice delivering the sentient beings in our own minds and curing the world in our own minds. At the same time, through this spirit, we must appeal widely to the nation and to the world and propagate this spirit widely there so that we may construct a world of great freedom based on freedom of the mind, a world of great peace based on peace of the mind, and a great, civilized world based on civilization of the mind, as all of us desire. Thereby, let all of us fellow beings rejoice together in that one great paradise where spirit and flesh both become whole and where universal principles and human affairs are pursued in tandem. 20 In the 42nd year of the One Buddhist era, 4th month, April/May 1957, at the Dharma Merit Award ceremony, the Master delivered congratulatory remarks. At this ceremony, I confer on the 4 devotees, of highest merit, Shusen, Kutawan, Pyalsan, and Pyaltawan, the Dharma Merit titles of Cardinal Master, Chongsan, Great Servant of the Way, Tibongdo, and Great Protector of the Dharma, Tihobop. I, along with the entire congregation, pay homage to them for their contributions at the incipiency of our order and for their astounding Dharma merit in the 2 areas of practice and enterprise. At the same time, I pray and hope that both our male and female lay and ordained devotees will renew their dedication so that in the future numerous cardinal masters, great servants of the way, and great protectors of the Dharma will continuously emerge in our order. 21 In the 43rd year of the One Buddhist era, 5th month, May/June 1958, the Master established the Kongeweza, Right Edification Institute, an institute for compiling the scriptures and other texts of One Buddhism, and wrote down and bequeathed this 4-character phrase, single-minded cooperative effort. He then said, since you have encountered this field of merit, devote yourselves in solidarity by working within the joy of Dharma and by mutually sharing warm friendships. 22 In the 44th of the One Buddhist era, 4th month, April/May 1959, at the inauguration for his 4th term as the Prime Dharma Master, the Master delivered a Dharma talk, in the 28th year of the One Buddhist era, 6th month, June 1943, while in a deep sorrow after our founding Master's nirvana, I inherited this solemn post and have remained in the important duty of representing the order for almost 17 years. Since then, I have managed to evade any serious transgression in leading this order thanks to the protection from above of the Dharmakaya Buddha, the Fourfold Grace, and the hidden protection of the Founding Master and the spirits of our many forebears, and to the support, on my left and right, from the conscientious fervor of all my fellow officers working in each organization in the headquarters and temples and the meritorious cooperation of regular adherents. Not only has there been continual growth of our order and has our existence come gradually to be widely recognized in both the nation and society, but we have also been laying the groundwork for the future edification of the world. At this time, since I am once again unable to decline your request to assume another term in office, I feel heavily burdened and greatly humbled, but trusting that there always will be the protection of the Dharmakaya Buddha and the Founding Master's Holy Spirit, above, and that, to my left and right, our fellow adherents' conscientious cooperation will always continue, I swear to bring to bear all my abilities in carrying out this great responsibility. At the same time, commemorating this day with the exhortation for us to become exponents of one great world, I intend once more to renew my original vow, together with all of you fellow adherents. 23 At the first award ceremony to recognize highly meritorious people, the Master delivered these congratulatory remarks, by recognizing the visible merits of specific people, such awards fundamentally also praise indirectly the general merits of the rest of the people. Highlighting specific people as the visible standards is a formality that is meant to promote such efforts in the rest of the congregation. Hence, while it is difficult to praise all the hidden meritorious deeds even of recipients, it is even more difficult to recognize and praise in non-recipients such high merit as may well exist. Truly accurate and grand awards are bestowed by the ever-clear truth according to its ever-bright karmic response, but the awards handed out by human beings are limited merely to praising one visible aspect. Therefore, in our order, recipients of such formal awards must keep appearing without number throughout the future, and, in the same way, we must produce many recipients who awaken to and receive the real award of truth in their hearts. Our order will then shine still more gloriously over the entire world. 24 In the 44th year of the One Buddhist era, 5th month, May/June 1959, at the swearing-in ceremony for the Supreme Council Unit, Sui 10, the Master delivered this admonition: 10, unit, means to unite and become one. Hence, we must unite well, so that we can accord with this principle of 10. Just as the single energy of heaven spontaneously brings into being the myriad things in the universe through non-action, our sincerity alone will deliver the myriad living things through the new way and its power. For this reason, the founding master first organized this 10 and urged us to model ourselves on the principle of heaven and earth and become masters of the worlds of the 10 directions. To attain and utilize this principle is both our mission and our glory. If it is difficult to become a master in a nation, then how much more difficult will it be to become a master of the 10 directions? A person cannot become a master of the 10 directions with a mind that is separated from the public. One also does not become a master through one's looks or one's knowledge but by a mind that knows no division or selfishness. If we devote ourselves always to comparing and reflecting on these conditions, we will naturally become masters of the 10 directions, but if without such efforts we just vainly occupy positions, then we will receive the punishment of truth. Since we are participating in this event thanks to the founding master's holy virtues, let us work hard together so that we lack nothing in our qualifications for becoming masters of the 10 directions. 25 Opening the meeting of the Supreme Dharma Unit, the Master said, in our meetings, we must proceed with a heavenly mind and heavenly language. Since the Supreme Dharma Unit is organized and operates in conformity with the right energy of heaven and earth, it would only be a superficial meeting if we were to conduct it without a heavenly mind and heavenly language. Heavenly mind means the mind that does not differentiate between the truth, the founding master, and ourselves. Heavenly language means to utter words in accordance with this mind. If we become heavenly beings and discuss matters through the heavenly mind and heavenly language, this order's advancement will be as easy as turning over one's palm. 26 In the 45th year of the One Buddhist era, 1960, prior to his 60th birthday, the Master entreated his followers, "This year, I hear that many fellow adherents from every district are engaged in various preparations for my 60th birthday. However, I was not able to prepare such a celebration for the founding Master, nor did we ever offer such celebrations to the forerunners early in our history, so, how can I alone enjoy such a celebration? Also, I have been receiving during my illness the conscientious care of many adherents, but my heart aches because we haven't yet even built a hospice for those devotees everywhere who have become weak and ill while working so selflessly, so, how can I alone receive further attentions? The spirit behind the establishment of our order and the spirit of the canon of propriety are to do away with empty formalities and wastefulness, and to live a life of simplicity. In such matters, ordained practitioners must serve as a model for general society, and it will not conform to the way to do these things excessively. But those fellow adherents who insist on showing their affection for me might choose to commemorate my 60th birthday by establishing a medical foundation for the hospice care of ordained devotees. That would be the right way of requiting the founding master's fundamental spirit and his Dharma grace, and would also be a true celebration for me, for my mind would be pacified by a project that would comfort all of our ordained devotees. Thus, I earnestly entreat you to do so and, on the appropriate day, just hold a simple ceremony according to our canon of propriety, and let that become standard in the future. 27 In the 4th month of the following year, 1961, at his 60th birthday ceremony, the Master delivered a Dharma talk. I appreciate the fact that all of you fellow adherents have heeded my requests and limited the celebration to this simple ceremony, and will instead embark on a project that will be useful to the future of the order. In commemoration, I too intend to renew our original vow with all of you fellow adherents by explicating the ethics of the threefold unity, Samdonyuli, which will become the fundamental principle for building a single world. After delivering a Dharma talk on this threefold unity, he established the Pabunkidan, Dharma Grace Foundation, with the donations offered on that day, which became the parent body of the healthcare organization for ordained devotees. 28. The Master ordered the organizing of an ordained devotees friendship association, the Sadakho, virtue of water association for great causes, come together like water, for propriety, be as clear as a jewel. Furthermore, he ordered the Chang'e Waden, chaste harmony unit, a friendship association for celibate male and female devotees, to be organized, and said, in chastity, be pure like a lotus flower, in integrity, be unchanging like pine and bamboo. 29. The Master ordered the organizing of the Kongtoho, Right Earth Association, a friendship and practice association of the wives of ordained male devotees. Only when the earth is well prepared will all things grow properly, only when domestic assistance and spousal encouragement are solid can the order's workers serve the public selflessly. He also said, if the earth's energy is right, then all things in the soil will grow properly. If wives offer encouragement properly and mothers influence their children properly, then their husbands and offspring will act and grow properly. These become the ground for properly building the order and rectifying the world. 30. For those who had returned to lay life after ordination, the Master looked after them attentively and said, even if you live in the secular world, live a consummate life as a dedicated lay practitioner by always reflecting on your original vow. Even if you yourself are unable to restart, at least encourage your sons and daughters to follow the way of public service, so that you will not accumulate a large debt in the Dharma realm. Then, he instructed those people to organize the Mo'onoi, yearning for the Source Association, as a friendship and practice association. 31. For postulants in training to be ordained, the Master ordered the organization of the Kyoi, Friends in the Doctrine Association, as a friendship association. He delivered an admonition with the motto, encourage each other to do good and caution each other from doing evil, encourage each other to practice zealously and caution each other from being lazy. 32. At a staff meeting at headquarters, the Master delivered this admonition, central headquarters is like the human heart, which controls all the temples, which are like the limbs. By transcending remoteness and closeness, intimacy, or estrangement, fulfill your duty at the central headquarters by cherishing and looking after the temples as if they were your own limbs. 33. The Master wrote a verse in literary Chinese for Kim Taigo, which translates as follows, if reputation is grand but true substance small / then in the end there will be nothing to show / for final victory and success, substantial power has pride of place. He continued by saying, an individual's true power is of three types, cultivating the power of absorption internally, studying the truth, and keeping the precepts correctly. The order's true power is of three types, putting the canonical texts in good order, nurturing the religious cadres, and stabilizing the order's finances. If the leaders and the order as a whole are well endowed with all these substantial powers, and we also unite together internally and our adherents increase externally, then this will inevitably lead to the advancement of our order's strength.